Greetings, fellow Watford fans. Omar here with another edition of the Orns 10-minute take. This time for Watford. Greetings, fellow Watford fans. Omar here with a Orns 10-minute take on West Ham 1, Watford nil at the London Stadium in the Premier League. Watford dominated the first half of the game against West Ham, playing very well indeed defensively, confident going forward, structured, organized, disciplined, drilled well, neat, tidy football, and controlling and frustrating West Ham at every turn in that first half. They did not take their chances, and unfortunately, the finishing was not there. And the finishing is the name of the game in the Premier League. And for Watford, that is exactly what they need if they're going to stay in this division. Now, I think they will stay in the division. I think they're going to stay in it quite comfortably. But the game plan has to come together and come together soon and fast because these games are now running out. We have, after this, 16 more cup finals, if you will, in the Premier League. And Roy Hodgson and Ray Lewington have to get this team to actually finish. And that will be the lesson here, not the defending, because the defending is quite good. I think the back four has settled. The back four knows exactly what its role and duty is, and they're all working together as a team. I think that was very obvious tonight from the way they were set up, from the way they did their defensive responsibility. They tracked back as a team. They were a solid unit. They took leadership positions, each and every one of those back four, led by Hassani Kamara, who continues to be a revelation for Watford Football Club, a master player. He is an absolute master at left back, and he showed you how valuable he is in this team. He's been here, just less than a month. He's played 3 or 4 games, and look at how quality he is. Hassani Kamara, the man of this match for Watford, even in defeat, he was the best player on the pitch once again for Watford. He absolutely has been just what the doctor ordered at left back. But unfortunately, in the second half, Watford did not quite live up to what they did in the first half. And although the performance was still good, it was not quite enough. It lacked a bit of intensity. And I think what happened in that second half is that Watford grew very tired. You could tell around the 60-minute mark or so, they were being outworked to the ball. West Ham obviously were going to make adjustments, and they did. And so that was affecting the play as well for Watford. But Watford started to tire. You could see it. All the running that Dennis had done, and he was spectacular tonight as well. You could see how it manifested in the game in the second half. And of course, Dennis hadn't played any football for 3 weeks because, of course, he was suspended from the Norwich game. So that took its toll as well. Be that as it may, Watford still hung in there until a cruel deflection in the 68th minute of this game. Jared Bowen's shot hit off of Samir and wrong-footed Ben Foster, who was diving the other way, and the ball nestled into the back of the net. That really was the extent of it. Up until that point, West Ham only had 1 or 2 chances. They came very close late in the first half through Saeed Benrahma, but Ben Foster was really good in goal. Otherwise, he had a very good game tonight, making some excellent saves. Ben Foster, well deserved in goal, and he should stay there as long as he possibly can until we get to Maduka Okoye next season. And I hope that that next season will be in this Premier League. I am holding out a lot of optimism here, and I know that things are bleak, but one thing we can do is take heart in this performance tonight because it was a very good Watford performance, despite the fact that we lost. I think that that is something that you would not have got under either of the two predecessors this season in that hot seat. But what Roy Hodgson has done has made this unit confident defensively, has made them competent defensively, and has now thrown the gauntlet down to the midfield, but especially to that forward line, which I think needs a bit more heft. Josh King, to me, just is not getting the job done. As I have cited here, on a number of occasions, Josh King has not scored in the Premier League, hasn't scored since November, and that was against Leicester City when he scored from the penalty spot to make it 1-1 in that Premier League game, in the snow game, I call it the snowball game, at the King Power Stadium. That was back on, I believe, November 28th or something like that. It was on a Sunday afternoon, a snowy Sunday afternoon in Leicester, and that was the last time that Josh King scored a goal for Watford. That's nearly 3 months ago now. That is certainly over 2 months ago now. And that's just not good enough for your striker. We need ideas up front, and we need fresh ideas up front. And where is Ashley Fletcher? I ask you, where is Ashley Fletcher? Is it that the head coaches that preceded Roy, who is now the manager, did they think that they just couldn't trust him? Did they see that perhaps they felt that Ashley Fletcher wasn't good enough? Is he fit enough? Are they impressed with what he is doing in training? Is he injured? I've not heard that Ashley Fletcher's been injured. So with a team in the relegation zone and now in the bottom two and dangerously close to being rock bottom because Burnley picked up a result tonight with a 1-1 draw against Manchester United of all teams. Um, with that said, uh, why not try Ashley Fletcher? Do something to shake up what's going on. All of a sudden, we can't score a goal. We've now gone three consecutive games without scoring a goal in the Premier League. And that is very disconcerting. That run might be longer than 3 games. On the top of my head, I think it's three, at least 3 games. Let me put it like that. At least 3 games without scoring in the Premier League. And that is not good enough. So look for Ismail Assar to come back for the Brighton game, and I think he'll be ready to go. And I expect that Roy Hodgson will, and I hope he does, make this a more attacking lineup. But I still think there is a part of me that thinks that he's going to stick with this 4-4-2. But really, in truth, at home, he really should be trying to go a bit more attacking. And after that horrible Norwich result, which I still have not erased from my memory, I do think that the one thing that these Watford players can do is pay back the fans with a victory this coming Saturday, a must win against Brighton. And by the way, their manager, Graham Potter, was in the stands tonight at the London Stadium scouting the game. So he will have seen what Watford did tonight. I expect that Roy Hodgson, having probably found that out about what Watford were doing tonight in that 4-4-2, will probably change it up against Brighton. I think they have to do probably the best thing here, which would probably be revert to a 4-3-3. Now, I think that will happen, which means Cleverly will drop out. And then what I would do is put Luza in there. I'd put Kayembe in there and Sissoko. And if Kuchka can sit, he'll have to sit. Although Kuchka showed again tonight that he does have some grit, but he had a very good chance in the first half that he headed wide, and that could have turned the whole game around. Watford now need goals, and they need them quick, and they need wins, and they need them quick as well. And considering after Brighton, you've got the game away at Aston Villa, these 2 games are still very winnable games, and yet Watford have not found it yet. Now, look, Roy Hodgson has just got here, but already he's having an impact. And for me, definitely tonight, even though it's a very disappointing result in the end, and West Ham got a very fortunate deflection, it happens in the game. You take heart that Watford have performed a whole lot better. In fact, performed even better, I think, tonight than they did against Burnley. And you still have some solid players there like Kamara, Kayembe, who I think was good again tonight, and Samir, unfortunate, but played very well tonight. And you have Cathcart, who's improved there. And I think also another player that I think was very good was Emmanuel Dennis. I thought he was outstanding tonight, along with Kamara. So there are signs, but we've got to put the ball in the back of the net, and you've got to do that in the Premier League. I know the hardest thing to do in football is to put the ball in the back of the net, but this is a responsibility now that must be met for Watford, finishing the name of the game. And unfortunately, it did not come tonight. But we kick on, and it is go time again this Saturday. We go again at the Vic for Watford against Brighton. I'll have a Friday focus on that coming this week. And don't forget, there is a giveaway going on right now on Orns WFC on Twitter. And that is the Hassani Kamara giveaway for the shirt at home with his name and number on the back. And, he is a really good player, and he has proven he is worth his weight in gold. Unfortunately, tonight, not the result we wanted, but definitely positives to come out of this really good performance otherwise. This has been the WHUWAT 10-minute take.